Okay, good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday, April 4th, I think it is. We will get started. Haley's en route, and of course, travel the way it is. She has missed 2 flights with her family to come home so far.
Oh, are you serious? I didn't know that. That's
Mhm.
awful.
Yep. So we are going to cover the new platinum bundle as well as other bundles, but how to properly and strategically get people signed up correctly. I'm gonna spend some time, like, I think you all know Craig Hussar's Jewelers. If you're around here, you see his signs, right? I just signed up Danielle today. It's a slow drip process. Mark Tauscher, if you know who Tausch is, um, it's been a slow drip process with Tausch. So we're going to talk through some of that second half. And then Jarvis, what are you doing on your half? I already forgot with my ear infection. I'm using that as my excuse.
I'm going to talk about our three-legged stool, the amazing three legs that
Oh,
we
yeah.
have, and how important it is to manage the three legs and what that means, and kind of just make sure, especially at the beginning of a brand new month, that we understand that and that we walk through that together.
Perfect. So I'm going to have you, if that's okay, I think I'll have you start. And before we start, just unmute yourself. Is there anything you guys want to add to tonight? And if there's questions, you can put it in the chat, besides those 2 topics, especially with our new system being out now. I've been seeing so many questions. What I'm going to say to the people who are on here, can I eat this with this? Can I take this medication with this? You guys, this is the easiest answer. Do you call your doctor when you're going to drink Crystal Light with something? If you go to give blood plasma, are you calling your doctor because you drank Crystal Light? This is fruits, vegetables, everything is safe. This is clean. It doesn't interact with anything. Okay. So if it makes people feel better to call their doctor, call their doctor. But there is nothing hurtful in this. It's clean, clean, clean. And for the only exception to be said, and it's not even really, oh my God, my ear just popped for the first time in 2 weeks. I'm so excited. Is people who have low blood pressure. Okay, I have low blood pressure. I'm 90/60 usually. If you already are somebody who you feel lightheaded from your blood pressure, you might want to do a half a scoop in the morning and a half a scoop in the afternoon, or take it normal and put a packet of zest in it. Craig was saying he likes strawberry watermelon. And so I've been actually just doing that every morning just because I drink it, and then I just put my zest, not because I was feeling lightheaded, but it absolutely balances out your blood pressure. The other thing I'll say is, we can't say this is a magic situation, but Lisa Shimon just did a Facebook Live. She had high blood pressure, and within 3 days, her blood pressure already went down. So Dr. Tom recommends everybody we give a system to. I'm just going to let Tom get on there. Good. Everybody we give a system to, Dr. Tom recommends we measure our hips. Okay.
Gina, I've got the admits covered. Don't worry about it. You just keep
God
going.
bless you. I'm anxious.
I know.
I'll address all questions, everyone. Keep putting them in today. Or comments. Thank you, Karen. So Dr. Tom says measure all of us, everybody you give this to, measure your waist, your hips, and your thighs, and actually both thighs, because most of our thighs are not the same measurement. And then we're going to do that again at day 30. So whatever I tell people, whatever calendar you use, mark it day 30, day 60, and day 90. Okay. And all these different comments. I'm hungry. Well, I'm so full, I don't even think about eating, and everything in between. I'm going to continue to review because we always have new people listening and learning. This is the deal. Our intestines produce the hormone called GLP-1. Okay. It secretes that hormone. That hormone is responsible for making us feel full or satisfied. The older we get, the less our body secretes that hormone. All of us. That's just a fact of life. Okay. The Ozempic mimics what that does in our body. And it's just one of the pieces of it, right? It's just the appetite suppressant piece of our system. And then of course there's the whole host of side effects, dangers, and expense of Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, which are called semaglutides. Ours, hence the name Activate, the drink activates that hormone or our intestines to produce more of that hormone. Okay. So I'm going to give you a perfect life example. I take mine every single morning. Doesn't matter if you've eaten first or you eat it, or you do it before you eat. It doesn't activate, okay, at all. So if you are a breakfast person and you're eating breakfast, then take your 2 Transform with your Activate and drink it, and then eat 30 to 45 minutes later, okay? Has nothing to do with when you eat, when you take your Activate. Except the minute you take it, you've all taken it enough now, within 5 minutes you feel satisfied. So every morning I do that, and I put my strawberry watermelon zest in there just because then I get my zest done. Then here's an example of my life. Monday, I went to opening day. That was a 3:10 game. There's going to be a lot of tempting foods at the ballpark. And I wasn't necessarily hungry. And the weather was crap. There's someone in the waiting room and I can't take it. The weather was crap.
It was 2 seconds. She just got there like 2 seconds ago. Jeez, Jenna.
Oh my God. You guys should all know if I'm texting you before I even text you, Isabel's in there. I love him so much.
I know.
So
yeah, I love her so much too.
So there were all these tempting foods at the ballpark, and I didn't want to end up feeling hungry, and we're learning how we adjust to this. So I didn't leave home because it was crappy out till 2:15 to get to the game. Sat in the parking lot, and I drank my entire Activate, and I did put another zest only because I needed energy to get through the Brewers. And you guys, I could have cared less. My favorite cookie on earth are the sugar cookies with the frosting that you get at Century. They have those at the ballpark, at the suite. Nothing mattered. Last night, I had to go with ESPN, and I do say had. It sounds spoiled, but it gets old. I had to go to ESPN to the Bucks game in their suite. Again, before I left here at 5:00, I slammed an entire second Activate. All I ate in the suite, they had salads, fruit, and then of course Chick-fil-A and all the junk. Didn't touch any of it because the desire goes away. Okay, it gives you that willpower. So when people are asking or saying they're hungry, you guys, Dr. Tom said we cannot OD on this. Okay, so he's currently taking 3 doses a day. There's no caffeine, so you can take it before, even if your week time is all of a sudden 7:00, it's Saturday night, you wanted to watch a movie, drumsticks are in that dang freezer or a dilly bar, drink your Activate before you sit down and watch your movie. You know your deal. It does not hurt you, okay? Now, remembering far more than Ozempic and the semaglutides, it's also supporting our blood pressure, our triglycerides, cholesterol, and our blood sugar. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah, I was just saying, let me give you a little different spin to Gina's experience and share mine. And I think the point of this is that every person's going to react differently to this stuff. And by the way, on the Facebook group for the DHS system, hopefully you guys all know about that, and you've either joined it or any
Well,
customer
tell it,
you've
tell
given
it,
it.
tell it.
I gotta pull the name of it. Hold on a second. It's the Glow. What is it, Gina? Hold on a second. Hold on. Now you made me say the name of it, and I don't know the name of it.
You can look it
And
up when I'm doing the
I'll
platinum.
look it up when you're talking the platinum stuff, but I'll get it to you all in a second. Oh, it's Activate Your Daily Health is the Facebook site. Activate Your Daily Health, and Your Daily Health, not Your Daily Health. Activate Your Daily Health. So you should be joining this, and then anybody that you give the group the DHS system to should join as well, because there's lots of great tips and information, Q&A, and this is all it's all shared for users to they ask questions, they're sharing workout activities, doing all sorts of stuff like that. So really great support group, if you will. That's kind of the word I wanted to say. The other, when I brought that up is I just did a little video for them that'll be posted tomorrow on how to take the DHS system. And it basically gives you two options, the way Gina's talking about it and taking it twice a day. I personally started twice a day, but I've moved to just once a day now. And I don't eat breakfast. So I'm a keto guy. I don't eat carbs. I don't really eat sugar. And so I don't eat before noon. So for me, I just take it once a day. And so when I'm taking it on my way to the gym. I'm throwing some zest into it as well because I'd want a little extra pickup as I'm going to work out. And that is now satiating me up until dinner. I had it a while ago. I'm not even hungry at 7:15. I'll have dinner here in a little bit where I'll eat protein and veggies for my meal with some great fats. But everybody was different. The first couple of days I took it, I was hungry. I was hungry, still hungry. Like, I mean, I was drinking it and I was still hungry. But what I noticed actually after the third or fourth day is that when I was eating a lot less. I was getting full quickly. Right. So it took me a few days to adjust to it, where Gina was like immediately it hit her. For me, it took me several days before I got to that point. So everybody's going to be different on the system. So just, make sure that we're sharing that there are different paths through this process, and our body's going to metabolize everything slightly differently. You're muted, Gene. Gina, you're muted.
Sorry. Before we move off of that, let's just finish that category. Not that you can't ask more on it as we go on, but Jarvis, do you see the questions on the chat?
Yeah, going there right now. Yeah. So I think, really quickly on that question, Nicole, I only take one transform before my meals because I'm not eating carbohydrates and lots of sugar, right? So for me, it doesn't make sense. I'm eating veggies, which are ultimately a carbohydrate, but they're a low glycemic impact carbohydrate. So I'm only taking one. But if like the other night, we had potatoes and carrots. Well, those are more higher glycemic veggies. So I took two, right? So I think it's really about what you're eating and paying attention to that. Gina, I think, takes two or three no matter what.
I'm obsessive. I just had a breaded pork chop and mashed potatoes. Trust me, I took 2 transform and 3
Yeah.
enrich because I
Yeah.
am excessive.
Yeah. And that is a great point. I did bring that up on the video for tomorrow is enrich. Enrich, what we're seeing in terms of the threads of people talking is that because they weren't eating a lot of fiber in their diet, which American diets do not have a lot of fiber in them. So people are feeling very full. They're feeling a little bloated. They're also feeling a little gassy as well, which is not untypical when you increase your fiber intake. So lots more water. And then if they're not already taking Enrich, strongly suggest they start taking Enrich, because that will help with all of those aspects as well. So again, our products are all synergistic. They work incredibly well together, and this is a great example of that, in utilizing these 3 products.
I am not selling a kit without selling Enrich, similar to not selling Glow without selling Enrich. Everybody needs to drink at least half their body weight in water a day. You got to do it. because we are creating that prebiotic soluble fiber equal to oatmeal or broccoli. And you've got to be able to have the fluid in your system to do what it's supposed to do and the enrich. And don't forget, the water thins our blood and helps carry the nutrients through our body. Try to drink that water as Kathy is just drinking. Good girl. Any other questions on the chat?
Exactly. Nope. That was
Okay.
it. Okay.
Okay. So let's start with our legs, Mr. Racine.
All right. Well, so let me share screen. Hopefully you gave me permission this time.
I did.
Perfect. Good. So can you all see this screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. All right. So this is an individual on our team who this was their, before I do that, hold on a second. Let me do this. Let me go somewhere else first, because I don't want to dive into this without kind of setting the stage first. And let me set the stage. Okay. So everybody understands that in our system, we have three direct legs of business. And those three legs of business are not necessarily the three individuals that you signed up. Right? We have three legs. They could be a gifted leg. They could be whatever it might be, right? We have three legs. And in those three legs, at every rank, there is a maximum point value allowed from each leg. And each leg, in order to rank, has a volume, a group volume level, right? So of that group volume level, you can only have X amount from each of those legs, right? So that's the basics of the legs, right? So when you have three legs, it is imperative, especially at the beginning of the month, that we talk about ensuring that you are balancing your three legs and your growth in those three legs. Because what happens is you can have, and I'll show two examples of that. You can get a leg that gets out of control in a great way. This is not a bad thing. And then you have two other legs that aren't giving you the contribution, and then you are not going to be able to hit that next rank. So I will give you some examples of that. And let me just make sure that you all understand that commentary right off the bat, right? We understand what I'm saying, right? Okay, good. All right, so let me share with you a basic view, and I'm just going to take you right to my screen for myself right now, and you now can see my landing page right now. This is me today, right now. I've got 2276 in terms of group volume right at the moment. At a Jade, you have to have 100 in PV in personal volume, which I have 110, and you have to have 15 volume points, group volume points, and they have to be broken out in three legs, or they are broken out in three legs. My points are today. The maximum allowed at Jade to get this 1500 is 975 from any one leg, right? So when you add two legs up right now, that's 1800. You can max out two legs plus your own volume and hit Jade, not a problem. At the beginning of this, it's the breakout of the three legs isn't as crazy as it is as you start to move up. So now let me flip this over to Opal. Now I have 2276 and 2275 points. It's weird now they get fractional points. I don't know what that just started recently. It's weird. That's required 3000. I don't have that 3000 yet. I'll have it by the end of the week. And this leg is giving me 965 points of that 1600. This leg is giving me 796 of that 1600. And this leg is giving me 403 of the 1650, right? So that those three legs add up, plus my PV equals my 2275 in group volume. So again, just the basics. This is another way to look at all this. This is your personal volume, and then this is your overall group volume, right? So that's important to see that. And then let me give you one more look. So when I look at Sapphire, my goal is Sapphire this month. I'm going to work my tail off to get there, and I'm putting it out into the universe, Gina, right on this call. You can see that to get Sapphire, I need 25,000 points. And the most any one leg can give me is 11,250 points. So I'm always going to watch this balancing of these legs to ensure that the point volume is getting equally dispersed. And then I'm working with my teams in each of those legs to make sure that I get those. All right. I'm seeing no major questions. So now let me give you a couple of other examples of this where it really starts to get crazy. So this individual had 52,000 in the month of March of group volume, right? 52,000 in volume. This person was at Sapphire, had 25,000 in volume. And let me see if I can make this bigger. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay, good. So 25,000 in volume. They needed 25,000. They had 26,000 at Sapphire. This is how their legs were dispersed. This leg had 11. This leg had 31,000. Look at that. This one leg had 31,000. The maximum amount of points this leg could contribute was 11,250 points at this emerald level. I mean, at this sapphire level. This leg had 17,000 and this leg only had 2,700 in points. Now, fortunately, when you added up the volume of these legs, this person was able to hit 26,000 total points, which exceeded the 25,000 of the roll, right? So they were able to hit that rank, worked out great for them for that sapphire rank. But it was 50,000. Remember, it was 52,000 points. And at 52,000 points, they should have been emerald. Oh, this is the wrong one. There we go. This is the wrong. It's in wrong order. This is the 50,000 points. They should have been emerald in theory at 52,000 points, but they could only take the maximum level right here. So this stopped them from getting that emerald level because they capped out at that 22,000 points. And this one still only had 2,700. So this individual's got to really manage this person's leg to grow this at the volume level of the other legs in order to meet that. So I know that can be a little confusing. Let me go show you another example of this. This is our wonderful Gina Della from Pella. And Gina, and I'll have you talk about this in a minute, but let me just walk through this with you all. 97,873 total volume points. This was her hitting emerald, 64,000 in volume at emerald. You can see that she had 52,000 from this Chris leg, 22,000 from this Kristen leg, and only 18,000 from this leg. But when you add it all up, well exceeded the 50,000 for this emerald level, right? But now we look at the diamond level. Now, remember we said there was 97,000 points earlier? Only 85,000 of that applied at the diamond level. So she fell 15,000 short when really she was only 3,000 short from the diamond. And the reason that is because she capped out at 40,000 on Chris's leg and she wasted 12,000 at this level of points. And they're really not wasted. It's a bad way of saying it, but it's the only way I can explain where those points go, right? Because they didn't count towards her hitting diamond. And then the Kristen leg had 25,000 of 40 and that 18,000 of 40. So had we managed these two legs better, and it's not really about managing them better now because we've learned how to do it and how to do it better, but we have to focus our growth and Gina has to focus her growth on these two legs to ensure that next month, because this leg is killing it, that these two legs actually can raise up and balance the legs so that in total, she can hit that 100,000 in their diamond status. So high level, quick walkthrough. Gina, you want to add to that conversation since this is your lived experience?
I'm going to show something and I want someone to tell me, answer this question to see if you just understood what Jarvis just said. I'm going to show you just really quickly something. I want you all to tell me or someone to tell me Okay, if I have right now 13,667 points, what rank should I be? Just put it in the chat and Jarvis, you watch the chat. What rank should I be at that?
Anyone? Come on, type it in. No one's responding to it.
So Jade,
Kathy, you guessing Ruby, Tom? Tom, good guess.
yes. So when I scroll down, I want you to look because it's not all, this is so deceiving, that middle box. So when I scroll, why am I only a pearl? Everything's green there. Why am I only a pearl? Why am I only a pearl? What's wrong? What else do I need to have hit ruby? If all of this is green at pearl, what am I missing for ruby?
You have too many points in one of your legs, so one of your legs is still short.
No, because it says I need at least 10,000 to hit it. I have 11,970 or 197.
Right.
I have
trick.
enough points.
50% max in one leg.
No.
Right.
you only
But that's
have-
what I'm saying. So your one leg has more of the points. So
You're missing
you have
personal
to.
TV.
No.
You
No.
only have 140 PV.
Yes.
That's what I
Excellent.
thought.
Oh,
Personal volume.
There's a trick question.
That was a
I wasn't
complete
looking at
trick
that.
question. I need to have 200 personal volume. And I always wanted to be in this position to teach this to you guys. Always make sure you have at least 100 by the 4th, 5th, or 6th of the month. Not the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. You want it the 4th, 5th, or 6th. The 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, you want those days for flexibility of what you want your order to be. Because as you start to get further up in your rank, you're going to need flexibility, which I'm not going to talk about here because some will get it, some won't. Always have your 100. That is all that's required to make sure you are commission qualified. So now you can see so far we're at April 4th. I've recruited 4 people. I don't ever stop talking to people. Someone just put on one of our other chats with Sonara that she felt sick to her stomach because her neighbor who lives 8 houses away, she's lived by her for years. She just saw her posting in the last day on Trinant and she's like, why didn't I talk to her? She lives 8 houses away. I talk to everybody. It's not my decision if it's right for someone's life. So I here did my 140 based on, I just ordered 2 DHS kits is what I did because I needed more. And I do have some customers, not many. So every month I have a recurring calendar event on the third to last day of the month and the second to last day of the month. And it's an all-day event that says check personal volume. If somebody hasn't bought enough customer stuff, because customer plus personal, box 3 plus 4 equals personal volume. If I haven't had any customers buy anything, if it's still 0, then by the last day of the month, I will order at least 60 points worth of volume. All I need to be commission qualified until the last day of the month at whatever rank I'm at is at least 100. But if I don't purchase the other 60 points and nobody else did, the most I can earn is $500 as a pearl. Even though I would have been at Emerald at 8,500 or Diamond, God willing, this month at 17,000. You gotta watch that. So that was a trick question. And then I always go way beyond what I keep looking. If my goal's diamond, that's what I keep watching. Okay. So
So
I'll stop.
let me address the question that was raised, which I think is a good question, is what happens when you have a leg that is out of kilter, right? How do you manage that leg? And how do you create volume in that leg? So as Gina mentioned, we're constantly looking and recruiting and working with people. You want to then gift in that leg. So if I've got my one particular leg that is low, any new recruits that I'll have, I will gift them under that leg to ensure that I'm bringing volume back to that leg. So I'm balancing those legs, right? So that's one of the absolute ways to do that. The other way is if you've got a family member in that leg, is to ensure that you're buying customer volume for that under that leg to help drive additional volume in that leg. So there are a couple of different ways you can play with that to do that. But ideally, you are working in that leg and you are tap rooting by gifting in that leg to help drive volume. And you're also helping your team in that leg to do more lives, to help them to make sure that they're doing all the posting that they need to be doing to help continue to drive the volume in that leg. And that's why you
having
don't
us
want to
help
wait
you.
too long. Yeah, you don't want to wait too long because it's very hard to drive 10,000 points, right? So you want to keep balancing those legs as you're climbing up the ranks over time. So you don't have 15,000 points or 25,000 points and you're not getting the level that you want to. Or, for many of you, the Ruby is the next stop for a lot of you on the call right now, or getting back to Ruby, re-ranking at Ruby. That's the next big step. So you're going to need to watch how that 10,000 in points comes through in your 3 legs. Now, remember, the other thing is you are a 4th leg, and the most you can contribute in your 4th leg is the maximum for that level, right? So remember that always, but you don't want to go out and buy your level. That's not the right way to do this. But if you're close, you can always go back and make sure you cross that line because the ROI makes sense. But you are that 4th leg, just to make sure that we're all clear on that. Yes, Nicole.
At what point do you need 3 legs versus building your 2 legs? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think ultimately, you have your 3 people. So your 3 people are different than your legs, right? I stated that at the onset, right? I have Chris has 2 legs right now. He doesn't have 3 legs. And I've held off on putting the 3rd leg because I'm not as concerned about Chris. I'm worried about tap rating below Chris. But at a point, I'm going to need to come back to him to make sure he gets the 3rd leg as his volume level goes up, right? Because remember, at Pearl, and at Jade, you can combine the 2 legs plus your volume and still reach that level. But shortly after that, it takes more than that to be able to do that. So you want those 3 legs. So you don't want to wait too far down the road to make sure you've got that leg going. Because you
Which
don't
is
want to
one
get
of the
off balance.
mistakes I made also. So I always recommend again, the personal recruits are different than the legs because you could literally recruit 3 people your first week and do Susie, Jarvis, Chris all underneath each other. And Susie's leg 1 because she's the one on top, and you don't have a leg 2 or a leg 3 yet. There's so much strategy. That's why Jarvis and I will always help you. I definitely don't want you to do that by yourself, but I recommend getting your 3 legs as soon as possible and keeping them even on a regular basis. The other thing is, like today, I just gifted Hillary. So for me, I've got 1,500 people underneath me. So I don't recruit 1,500 people a month to gift everybody, right? And I can tell you in my entire time here, Sonara's never gifted me as my personal recruiter. I've never gotten 1 person. All my 1,500 people are my own, or you guys have grown. So how I do it is I look at a leg where I need it. And in that case, that was a leg I needed volume. And Hillary is working her ass off. She is recruiting. She's at every training. She's all the things. She deserves the gift. if that makes sense. She's doing all the actions. Okay. And then what I did was then I work with Hillary, and out of her 3 legs, where do I gift that person? Because I'm going to tap root, and Hillary then refreshes my memory. Who's a strong leg, 1, 2, or 3? You know, there's so much that it's so fun, actually, the strategy behind it.
And we absolutely don't expect anybody to understand all that initially. That's why we're here, right? So we're here to help walk you through that, think about things a little differently, because we don't think about the people in those spots. You may have a personal relationship or have a desire to help somebody else versus the other. We're looking at this just from a strategy perspective and making sure you stay in front of that and make sure that you're working hard to get to where you need to get to. So that's our role through that. And I do have to just do a quick warning for all of you. Do not let yourself get stuck with 4 legs past that 15th day. That will hurt you forever. So you absolutely need to make sure you're setting a clock for yourself, setting a reminder that before that time period is up. I would even do it at the 10-day mark. That's just me, because I don't even want to think about getting close to that and screwing that up.
Right.
At the 10-day mark, and make sure that you are positioning that person and placing them before that 14 days is up, or the 15th day is up. So just remember that. I mean, initially it's great because they sit in a holding tank and it kind of looks like you have 4 or 5 people or 6 people, but just make sure you're moving them out of that spot in that time frame, because it truly becomes a dead leg then, because you don't get no benefit from it.
Well, and Hillary's point, everyone here, I'm singing to the choir, right? You're at training. You are working hard. But when you think I have 1,500 people, but I only have 3 legs, I don't care the name. There's no emotion tied to the name. So I look at the leg I need help from, and then I break it all the way down, which is what I will help you with. And there could be 35 people that deserved it. So I got to strategically place it, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to become a diamond. You guys are trying to become what you are, right? So you're doing your own recruiting and bringing, because I'm also helping you recruit. Bring them to me, bring them to me, bring them to me. So I didn't mean it that you all weren't working. So thank you, Hillary.
Yeah, and again, when you taproot somebody, when you give somebody, you want to give it to the newest person on the team. And I'm going to say it this way, I don't mean it in a pejorative way, the lowest level person possible, because all of those points, remember, roll up all the way through everybody else, right? So that's just part of the taprooting process. So you may not personally get it, but it will happen in your downline. And all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, all of a sudden I got 350 points or 400 points or 500 points. Great, right? Nicole, you had a question from before. Did we answer it?
Can you just talk a little bit about the difference between gifting a person and gifting a personally sponsored person to somebody else? Why do I not want to give one of my personally sponsored people, and let someone else personally sponsor them so that they have a 3rd leg, or they have a 3rd personally sponsored person?
Yeah, so it's about this is a strategic discussion, right? So like I would only give somebody I would only go in under that let's just say Chris has 3 legs. Chris never recruited anybody, right? I did all the recruiting. So I went in and personally sponsored them for Chris to ensure that he had his 3 legs, right? So that's really the only time, if you're doing that for a child or you're doing that for a family member, that you would do that. Otherwise, you're going to want to just make sure that you are doing the sponsorship yourself and then placing that person's leg, because then you get the commission of the bundle that they get. You get, because you're the one who recruited them, right? So you get the benefit of that recruitment process.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Thanks.
only for family members would you really go in and do that sign in under them and give them that recruit. Otherwise, you're just going to gift it downline as one of the legs. And I have gifted legs. You all likely have a gifted leg. A gifted leg is really just a gifted leg. That doesn't prevent you from building underneath that leg. You still own that. You still own the responsibility for that 3rd leg. It's actually a great benefit. You just build underneath it and keep building underneath it.
And some people might not, you might have got gifted, you know, Susie Q, and Susie Q ends up not really doing anything, and every month she's at 0. So what? It was a
Yeah.
gift the month Susie Q came, you got the points from it, it doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised, you know, now we're in this a year, well, I'm in it a year now, that you'll be surprised how many people picked back up now that Activate is here. That my makeup artist is actually one of them. Josie only placed her initial order last February and got her platinum bundle and never ordered again. And now she definitely paid her renewal fee of $49. And then when Activate came out, she ordered herself 3 kits. And now she's very motivated. It's very, you know, everybody's at a different time in a different place.
Well, Gina, we're running long on these 2 topics, and I don't want to skip out on the discussion of the packages. So why don't you transition to that and talk a little bit about that real quick?
Do you have a screenshot on the PowerPoint by chance?
Of course not, because I totally did the PowerPoint on the 3 legs and forgot to give you the platinum one. But I will get something up here in a second while you talk about them
Perfect.
broadly.
So you all know I like giving true people examples versus hypothetical if I have them. I reached out to, and I wish she was on the training tonight, she wasn't able to make it. Her name is Lori Parisi. She is at Corporate Pella. She's a wonderful salesperson. She sells a certain section of our business to all of us, this Design Works thing. And I had been talking to her about Pella. And I mean, Trinot. And I know she's really good. I knew she'd be really good. Recruit her, get her enrollment bundle. She wasn't a $99 and then Activate. Okay, because there's definitely a second stream of income here for her and all the things. So she's person 1, right? So then you do platinum bundle, and I am probably the company's queen of platinum bundles only until none of us were able to do platinum because they changed the price. They made it over $1,000 and they had it, the enrollment fee was in it. It was all different than it used to be. So then I started, it was hard. So now I'm back to, so you can see I recruited 10 people last month. I'm like back because I can only rely on me. I hope you all recruit, but I got to rely on Gina. So now I've got 4 recruits so far, platinum people. I say, this is the scoop. And I have you guys on with me. If it's your people, you sit on the call with me. For $999, it is truly a discounted bundle. Okay. It includes your enrollment fee. So you are getting the most impactful products at a discount for less than $1,000. So you can see you're getting your Activate kit. You're getting a month worth of Zest, a month worth of Mojo. You're getting a month worth of Glow. If we're not, loading, you're getting your Renew, your, you can see what you get there. Your Enrich, it's the most popular and impactful products. So you're going to buy it anyway. If you're even considering for a minute doing this business with it's a consumable product that works, and not only a consumable product that works, one that is safe and clean. So if you're even remotely thinking about doing it, spend the $1,000 and get the platinum bundle. And that way, every month you can, at a minimum, order from yourself at a minimum. But if anybody, as you start to lose weight or you start to feel better, depending what products you're taking, and they want to get something, you already are set up. And it also provides products you might not have tried had it not been in there. And I'm so glad I did. And now you're able to replace what's already in your medicine cabinet or wherever you keep your vitamins, slowly but surely. Now, if you're not wanting to start the business at $1,000, which we do know metrics wise, 15 to 1, you are far more just only stay at gold, silver, and platinum, please. Just, I don't want to see anything else. Does it not have it in order? Oh, it
does not.
doesn't. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So then I say there is the gold bundle, which is very popular, and the silver. And now I see Lori joined us. You know, the most common regret is after people do it, who want to do it as a business, they say, I wish I would have just got the platinum bundle. Well, now it's under $1,000. Okay. So now we take the other side of the coin. Mark Tauscher. For those of you who might not live here and don't know who he is, he was a Hall of Fame Green Bay Packer. He was in the Super Bowl. He was a Hall of Fame Badger. He calls the Badger games. And he's got his own show with Jason Wilde and Tausch. Huge, huge celebrity. Huge endorser of mine and a personal friend. He is a big boy. Big boy. And he's been trying forever to lose weight. So when Transform was going to come, I met him and his wife, Sarah, because he's also an entrepreneur. This is the slow drip. And I'm like, you know, and he is very slow to put his name on something because of who he is. So we met, we talked about Transform. I said, I'm telling you, I think this is going to be huge. It was before it came out. And he's like, oh, Sarah will do the homework on it. And I forget, I think she only kept ordering Enhanced. They never even ordered the Transform. And I would text them, I'm like, just so you know, we grew 300% just from Transform, you guys. You know the entire world and have connections everywhere. I'm just telling you, slow drip, slow drip. Well, last night, Tausch was in the suite with me and he's like, because we talk on the phone all the time. Like, we're going to do a fun thing. We're going to be on the pumps at Quick Trip. We talk on the phone all the time, but I haven't seen him. And he's like, holy shit, how much weight have you lost? And I said, as of this morning, yesterday, 50 pounds. Now, he has seen me for years the one way. And I've probably seen him once in between. For sure, I saw him once in between, but it was with all winter clothes on. So last night, he's asking me all these questions, la, la, la. And he said, do you think I should try it? I go, Tausch, you're exhausting me. Of course, I think you should try it. And I think you should get it going because it's going to make you a lot of money. So he said, and then Chris said, I just started. We'll see how I do. So then Tausch says last night, well, I'll see how Chris does. How dumb is that? Why would we Chris's willpower might be completely different than Tausch's. Everything's different. Their whole body makeup, everything. So whatever, I'm not going to push him. And this morning, his show starts at 9. At 9:17, I get a text. I got to do it. I can't stop thinking about it. So then we talked and I said, Tausch, you're a big dude. You're like Dr. Tom. So we need you to get 3 systems, right? Because he needs to do it 3 times a day. And then he'll have a little extra Transform that he can throw. He's traveling back and forth from Madison and Milwaukee anyways. So, of course, I don't give him an option. I'm like, I don't ask people, I tell. I'm like, so we're spending $99 and we're signing you up as an associate. Because guess what? If you can just be strong enough, and this is going to help you be strong enough, because it's hard for him. He has no willpower. He admits it. I said, this is going to help you, and this is going to go to town. Okay. Now, the only sad part is my son Austin works at ESPN. So I had to put Tausch under Austin Jean, the love machine, which is on my heavy leg. Okay. Now, you know Craig Hussar, right? Craig, he's on the billboards, the handsome guy, and he's right off of Blue Mountain. And I'm friends with Danielle. It's been a slow drip for months. It's not my decision if they need money. They have 2 houses, one in Brookfield and one 30 minutes away in Oconomowoc on the lake. It's not my deal what they need or don't need. Slow drip. Today she reached out to me. She said, okay, exactly, planting seeds. They're not red apples. You'll know the red apples. So finally this morning, she's been watching my lives. I didn't know she's watching lives. You guys, we don't know who's watching our posts. You can't post and pray. You still recruit and reach out. But she's been watching. Today she reached out. She goes, okay, tell me about the collagen, because I'm already on collagen. It's my 3rd one I've tried so far. I said, what's the brand of it? And she said, Modere. I said, well, I'm pretty sure I don't have to say anything other than the fact that Kelly Rich is one of the founders of Modere and left her own company to come to Trinont in December. So I'm thinking ours is probably a little better. She's like, okay, that's done. She said, now tell me about this Activate. So I told her about the system. We literally spent 90 minutes on the phone, because if you're not explaining, teaching, and training, you're not building any value. And then there's no trust. You're just a dollar sign or a bunch of canisters and bottles. I'd rather take an hour and a half with one person every time and make them feel good and comfortable. So she signed up. She wants to try all sorts of things, because then she asked me, what about this? What about this? Because I said, what kind of questions do you have? What kind of concerns with your body do you have? And I said, and now let's just talk about the fact that every time we're out socially, Craig says you need to get a job. And she hates when he says it. And she's like, I know, I could seriously do this. So do you see what I mean? How you bring it up? And now the platinum, it's, you guys, my ROI, I made $132,000 last year. What if you only made $15,000? That's pretty damn good ROI on $1,000, which was products. It wasn't like you invested in something and got nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Question.
And you can write off a significant portion of that as well.
Adding it all up right now, you guys, I'm literally up to like $40,000 in write-offs.
Yeah.
Questions, comments, and read them, Jarv. I don't see it.
Yep. And just so you're all aware too, the packages all really tie and fit right into the levels of the of our enrollment bundle commissions. So we're back to the way it was before. We moved away from the enrollment bundles, and honestly, that's really the best way, is to do the enrollment bundle. Start with the platinum, walk through all the products in there, and then you can, depending on resistance or whatever their situation may be as they talk about it, is you can drop down to a gold or a silver. I really wouldn't go beyond that.
I
the
don't
other bundles
show
really
any
don't much.
bundles. Yeah, when
Yeah.
you guys now, so when I start on April 15th, when Jarvis, Haley, and I do our own live info session that we're gonna record, because we still have the old October one, you're only gonna see gold, silver, and platinum. We are never showing other bundles. And that is what we always did in the past. And I don't even talk about the other ones. I focus on the platinum. Please all bring guests April 15th. Our October one, like within 3 weeks, had recruited 75 people. But now we're really good.
Yep. Good.
Question.
You have questions?
Has anyone taken the time to add up like all of the products that are in the gold? Like this $999 package is really worth $1,400, or anything like that.
That is green apple-ish, so I don't know. Missy, Jarvis, my green apple, add it up.
Missy, I don't know. Are you still on it? We should be offended by that. But yes, I will actually do that, Nicole. These are fairly new in the past couple of days. I just haven't had a chance to do it, but I will do the calculation on them for sure, and let you know what it looks like. Yeah, the green apple will take that as a challenge. Anybody else have other questions? I think that many of you who've been here, who've come on without having these great bundles. I think, it was a disservice to your ability to sell the package right off the bat. And so I think as we get going and get you comfortable talking about the bundles, they are the best way to go forward. They really are. I mean, because the bundle is really absolutely no question the best way to go about doing it. Plus you get a nice little commission off of each of those bundles as well. So it's a benefit for you as well and the customer.
Thank you, Hillary.
Good. All right. Any other questions in general? We got 3 minutes left. Okay, so we got good information on the legs, talked about those. I know it will be confusing. Just reach out if you have any questions as you're going through this. Hey, I don't understand why I'm still at this level. Something's missing. I'm not getting it. Whatever that might be, feel free to message me on Della Diamonds, or directly you can message me via Facebook Messenger. Happy to answer those questions. Kathy.
How long does it take to get your first order?
Pretty quick these days. Yeah, I would probably say, you know, I would give yourself 5 to 6 business days. You know, I'm seeing those orders get shipped pretty quickly. You know, that's a fair amount. But so if it falls over the weekend, you know, those are business days. So add those business travel days in there.
Just
Yeah,
in
and
case.
Easter.
I know you people excited to get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Sit there and wait, like me right now a little bit, but you guys hooked me up. So
Yep. Always happy to do a trade out on something for sure.
that's fantastic.
Yeah, Karen, any list on things that you should watch and keep track of for taxes? It's a really great question. I'm working on trying to get two things. One, next week, my goal is to try to get at least either the wealth guy on our call or the property and casualty guy on our call to talk about our opportunity with them. Remember that if you sign up and our property and casualty life insurance or our wealth side, you get 300 points per month for, I can't remember now, was it 4 months, Gina? 3 months
I
or
thought it
4
was
months?
120
It's 100
points for 6 months.
Okay, that's what it is. It's 120, it's 720 total. Yeah, 120 points for 6 months. Yep, you're correct.
There's
Um,
also a
Thank-
insurance referral or something, if I recall. Is that still true?
Gotta look at that again. It's been a hot minute since I've looked at it, so not prepared to dive into the conversation. But if you want to get a quote, hop on there, get a quote right away. So don't wait for that. So and then everybody, you know, you just met with a wealth guy, Terry. Awesome. Yeah, they're great people. They've got great programs. Their property and casualty rates are really competitive. Their life insurance programs are really competitive as well. So a great way to pick up some extra points along the way.
You can do it for your kids. The person doesn't have to be in Trinant. You get points for all of that. 120 points for everyone. And just imagine if even half your team did it,
Yep.
how many points you get. And the
Yep.
rates are, you know, for the most, what we've been hearing is more often than not, they give you a better rate for the same coverage.
Yeah, so definitely take that. We'll have them on next week. All right, we're at our 8 o'clock time period. I think I got all the questions.
Real quickly, is
Yep.
there any shipping hacks or anything? I've got to order like 8 glows.
Uh-huh.
Am I just better off ordering them 4 and 4? Or do I think, and you save some money too if you do the subscription, right? So
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just
you get
wondering what the best way to go about that is.
the shipping is it's per order, so it's $11.99 per order. So if you have 8, order the 8 versus putting it on 2 separate orders. That way you don't get the charge. You get just
So I
the
tried
one
to do
charge.
that. I tried to do that, Jarvis, and it only allowed me to go up to like 4. Is that true?
In one particular order, or did
Yeah.
you?
No, I tried to do, yeah, just, where it says, minus plus.
Yeah.
I went up,
Yeah.
I was hitting the plus, and I got up to 4, but then after that, it was like, wouldn't allow me to go any further.
Huh.
Then you have to go back in after it does that. Then you go back into the shop, like move your cursor to the left, click on the glow bottle again, and add
then
it to
add
the
more.
bag. And then you can continue to do that.
To
And
add
do-
more.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's separate orders within the whole order itself. So
Okay.
maximum is because they sell a 4-pack of it. That's why. So you can get up to a 4-pack and then it should only be $11.99 for shipping period, for that order.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
try
the
that.
two
Let me-
very
packs or
much.
the 4 packs are less also, aren't they?
Yeah, you save a little bit of money, on the two versus the one for sure.
Hey, Tom, I have a friend that has lots of extra glow and
Uh-huh.
she's local. She's in the Waukesha County area. Do you want me to reach out and see if she has glow for you or would you rather?
Sure.
send
But
her-
no,
that
I don't,
hurts.
I did,
But that hurts you, Tom. Hang on a sec,
Oh.
True.
Bill, because he then's not getting his own points. That person got, we don't really want to buy other people's product. We want to buy our
Okay.
own product because you want to get your own points, Tom, and stay
Okay.
active.
all right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why when we do like an exchange, like, so, like if we gave Kathy, here's a bottle of Transform. In fact, I just gave Jennifer a bottle of a bag of Mojo the other day. She's like, can I just pay for it? I'm like, no, just buy it in next week or whenever you place your order, and then give me the bag back. Give me the bag back, because then you get the volume points for it. I get the volume points for
Yeah.
it, right? If you're in my
Well,
legs. So
So,
that's
two of my 8 are for Gina, so we've already used 2 of the 4 that she
Yeah,
gave.
Oh, and
me,
you
so-
keep, I'm not low. I just didn't want you to forget.
No, absolutely. I
Yeah.
just, but no, we'll take care of it. I've got it all ready for you. I just, once I
All
get
right.
these other 2 glows and I can give you everything you gave me.
yeah. So
Perfect.
just
Yep.
remember, everybody, we're here to help, here to answer all sorts of questions offline, message, and